What it do, Ski Authentic Collective. So I just want you to know that as every single day goes by, your girl is getting stronger. We'll come back to that part later. But anywho, admitting what you're lacking is hard is today's conversation. But we all lacking something, right? We all have room for areas of improvement, things that we need to do in order to be better in our life, in our business. And it would just be so great if we could just go on this journey and be like, oh, no, 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 I'm good, I'm good, I'm good, I'm cool, everything is all right. And this comes from a person who considers himself to be relatively strong, because I am. And I got knocked down. It's cool. You know what I'm saying? It happens, sometimes. But I'm like Ip Man or Rocky. You count referee 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. She's up and she's got her hands back up and she's coming back with a vengeance. That's where my mindset is at. That's the way that I think. I get back up and I keep on moving, but I don't just get back up, because unlike in the scenarios with fighting, you don't have the time to do what I'm going to talk about right now. You better have done the work prior to. So when you think about the people like Rocky, the Ip Mans, and whatever you watch, that kind of lets you know what some of my favorites are. A lot of training was done in the first place, right? To have the mental muscle, to have the physique, to have the strategy, to have the skill, to be able to withstand whatever's coming at them. Okay. So I'm doing a slight tweak from those individuals. I want you to think about it. Like for me, for instance, I just got hit with a lot. I got hit with a whole lot. And so there's a lot of loss, there's a lot of death, there's a lot of confusion and chaos inside my family, outside of my family, connected with people that I'm close to, that these last couple of weeks have been rough. And for those of you that saw that video where I was talking about when so much is coming at you at one time, that's when it's like, OMG. And so while I have certain skills and I have to dig deep into the back of my mind to be able to have the wherewithal within to get back up, guess what? After that, there's still more training. There's recuperation, because after getting beat up like that, physically, mentally, spiritually, then there's the recovery time. So a lot of times we love to talk about the matches. We love to talk about the games, whether you watch football, baseball, basketball, boxing, whatever, you do realize that after going through such hard, intense physical, mental, and spiritual labor to win, whether it's because they taking ice baths and have ace bandages, sleeping for 12 hours, down and down certain kind of nutrients, there's a recovery period, there's strengthening, there's perfecting of strategy, and so many other things going on. But the reason why those people do it is because their mind has already been conditioned to accept the fact that they need something else. You hear me? That they have to admit that they're lacking. Even the champions, when they win, they say, "Whoo, that was a close call. Woo, they got a little close." Even though that was a landslide, if it wasn't for this, if it wasn't for that, how can I compete against myself? How can I get better? How can I go get higher? And what happens with a lot of us, more the little oaks in entrepreneurship, you be so happy that you finally figured out something that you really don't want to admit that you're lacking anything else. And what does this look? Some people like, no, August, I'll admit that I'm lacking. Liar, liar, freaking liar. Because I look at a lot of women in their business, and I could do something right now. I could put up a post, 50 women can see it, and be like, what's your specialty? What do you do? And what sets you apart from everybody else in the industry? And then I might have some people, because I asked the direct question, get a solid 15 people that'll respond. This is me, and I'm the money mindset this, and I whoop, 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 and I'm the health expert this, and I whoop, whoop, whoop. But when I look at those individuals and I look at their pages, I'm like, they don't even hardly represent their business. They never hardly ever promote. They do a lot of live videos. They never do call to actions. When they have an opportunity to put it out there, they don't do it. And it's like, well, why don't they do it? Because you can say it's the fear of failure. You can say it's the fear of success. You can say whatever it is. But at the end of the day, these are the kind of things that I see people go through. Well, if I get people to sign up, My onboarding process, you might not say those exact words, but when people get signed up, I'm not even exactly sure exactly how I'm going to do it or what's going to make the smoothest transition. If I do get all these people to respond to me, I'm going to have 50 million conversations, but my sales skill is lacking and I'm not going to be able to close. I could be creating posts and putting it out there, but I really don't know what to say. But rather than then saying, you know what, I'm going to pay to become a master at copywriting. I'm going to pay to become a master closer. I'm going to pay you to learn how to master live video and the art of call to action when I'm doing what I'm doing. Instead of you doing that, you say, you know what? I'm going to figure out how to become a Google expert, knowing that your head is already messed up. Your head is already messed up. A lot of you, if you really think about it, you know the strategy. Some of you, no offense, there's people that, look, I've seen it in live groups. I've seen it in DIY groups. I've seen it even with one-to-one coaching. You've been told specifically and explicitly what to do, but then you don't do it because you emotionally have some hangups. You're afraid. You're insecure. You're lacking in confidence. You're anxious in your spirit. You're afraid because you feel like you're lacking knowledge. But the vast majority of people cannot raise their hand and say that they're all in to the degree that they need to be there in order to change what it is that they need. And a lot of times you can't do this, and you want to know why? Because it's not just the skill or the strategy, it's the mind and the emotion. The vast majority of you, whether you realize it or not, you need to work on your mindset, your spiritual healing, and your emotional intelligence. And I say this because when life knocked me down and I was going through these different things, I started paying more attention to me emotionally and some other things that were going on, psychological triggers, instead of paying attention to, because I could be a beast that's showing up in business. I'm like, no, this is something else. This is deeper. And there's only so many hours in the day, and I've got to choose what's the most important thing. And I've got to work on this piece and this bit at a time. And at the same time, literally, because of what happened to me physically, simultaneously allow myself to get some rest. And what I know, especially in particularly in the African American community, we spend a lot of work on strategy. We'll say we spend work on mindset, but usually the mindset is, affirmations, speaking positive. It's the law of attraction. It's not really about emotional healing. It's not about emotional triggers. It's not about addressing the psychology of what you're dealing with. And I know it. You know what I'm saying? I have clients that I'll be like, I know you want to talk about the sales strategy, but let's talk about this thing that's going on with you and your partner. I know you think that it's not that important, but you can't stand up to your partner. So you got a worthiness issue, which means you're going to have a worthiness issue that's going to show up, is going to manifest differently in your business. So let's go ahead and get to the core of what's going on with you. And I've had clients that will resist it. They don't want to answer the hard questions. They don't want to do that. They want to tell me, I got it under control. Everything all right. Everything all good. But until they really have that breakthrough, come in a group crying, get on a coaching session, call and saying, oh my God, August, I finally figured it. I see it. I see it. I see it. And then bam, what happens in their business that transitions to, because my clients, they are required to do the dirty work. They're required to do the dirty work. They're required to answer the difficult questions. So, what are you lacking, Queen? That's what you really need to be saying. And some of you, you'll be like, well, I know I could be better at this, but. Well, how about you talk to somebody and let them tell you? A lot of you all know that you should have a strategy session with me. Or what are you afraid of? That I'm going to try to sell you to death? Instead of being grateful for the fact that even if you don't work with me, that I'm going to leave you with a nugget, something that you can implement so that you're a better woman in business, whether you work with me or not. Because you think, oh, all I need to know how to do is sell better. I ain't going to work with August. I'm just going to buy her book. For some people, that will really work because they really do have a powerful mindset. They really don't. They're secure. They just don't know the steps and what to do. But if when you get through talking to me, I'll be like, oh, this is not strategy at all. This is 1000% mindset. oh, emotionally they're detached or blah, 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 and so on and so forth. Why are you trying to be the doctor and diagnose yourself when it's not your specialty? It's not what you do. Okay. So admitting what you need is often hard. It can be hard because you're stubborn, but it also could be hard because you don't know and you're not certain how to express it. But especially in the African American community, we're going to have to start expressing it. I can't keep hammering this in hard enough to make sure that you guys understand that we are emotionally jacked up. And until we start dealing with the baggage and the damage and the way that we function, you can learn how to make all the money you want to, and you're still going to fail. You can learn how to make all the money you want to, you're still going to fail. I helped a woman make thousands of dollars, thousands upon thousands of dollars in a 2-month period. It was one of the few times that I actually let somebody have a payment plan that was outside the completion of a program. She always had to make payment arrangements. I had a woman hit almost 6 figures in less than 9 months and couldn't even sign up and renew her contract with me to be her one-to-one coach, and was trying to figure out how she could pay for a lesser program. And it wasn't because she didn't make enough money. And it wasn't just because she had poor money management. She also had worthiness issues. I used to ask her all the time. I remember one time I asked her, I'm like, why do you feel like, nobody can love you? She is pissed off at me one session. Why do you feel like you're not worthy of love? And she had to come back the next session. Oh my God, I do feel like this. And this is the way it shows up in my life in this way and that way. And oh my God, I know what I saw. But you didn't interpret what you were doing as that. I just did a vibe video on Facebook talking about you can be caught up in earning and not learning, and you're going to suffer. 2021 is coming. There's so many things that we've got to have in place, you guys, in this last quarter with the bank. In this last quarter with the bank. It doesn't make a difference what has been happening. Businesses are still thriving. They're still flourishing. The question is it yours, and will it be yours? Okay. So you guys already know that I'm a business coach. I'm a Forex trader. I don't know what you want to do with your life, but I just want you to feel empowered to do whatever it is that it takes to do the work that's important, because it's all connected. If you are only concentrating on the skill set without the will set, you're going to fail. And the will set is about the power of the mind and the heart. It's about guiding your emotions and not being driven by them. It's about having a mindset that is controlled. So you got to make a decision. You got to make a decision. So that's my nugget for you all today. So I love you all in the Authentic Collective community. Getting my mojo back. More than likely by the end of this week, I'll have a good handle on the way things are going to go, even though a lot of transitions won't happen until the end of September, because I do have the Authentic Collective live event coming up the 3rd week in this month. And so a lot of my time, excuse me, is going to be dedicated to the preparation of that. But more than likely, I am going to end this year with a powerful summit. So I want you all to be ready for that. For those of you that are looking for speaking opportunities, for those of you all that are looking to heal on an extra layer, talking a lot about healing. So you need to know that that's going to have a lot to do with this next summit coming up. And on a whole, it's always different. It doesn't make a difference if you went to Worthy Abundance in July. Trust me, what I'm coming with this time, totally different. No 2 summits are alike. So we're going to keep on moving. We're going to keep on grooving. We're going to keep on growing, right? Okay, so I love you all. I'll talk to you later. Deuces. Man,